Right, 2 miles into my run, and a little stop at the Beverly Hills sign. And I thought I'd do a little bit about weight loss and why diets don't work. Getting so many inquiries about weight loss, it's unreal, and people asking me questions how to lose weight and keep it off, you know. Well, let me tell me what it ain't. It ain't fucking dieting, yeah? It ain't weight loss diets, yeah? So you've got a gym goer diet and you have a weight loss diet. They're two different things. Only 8% of the population of their mindset can handle being regimented to have certain amounts of the same food every day, you know. Only 8% of the population that studies prove that their minds are built that way to be methodical and put things into that much detail and stick to it, yeah? Where the other 92% of us go on weight loss diets, yeah? They've got a 100% fucking failure rate. No one's ever sustained their entire life at 17 on Lighter Life or something, or Weight Watchers, and stuck to the rules without breaking them. No one's ever done that. They always get to a point where you have to break the restriction and, you know, then you feel like a failure. So let me explain to you what happens there, yeah? The first thing diets teach you about is food. Now think about this logically, yeah? As a therapist, if I had a gambler in my practice, yeah, my job would be to make sure this gambler has less thoughts about gambling. The less he thinks about gambling, the less he's gonna waste his money. The less the alcoholic thinks about drinking, the less they're gonna drink. Yeah, someone's fat and overweight, they go to a place that sells diets, and guess what they teach you about? Fucking food. Now, if I'd done that with an alcoholic, you'd call me a nutcase. If I'd done that with a fucking a gambler, I won't get a gambler to start teaching him about autism fucking jockeys and expecting him to lose weight, do you know what I mean? So, let me teach you what diets don't work quickly, yeah? And I can finish my run. So, first of all, I teach you to think about food. Then they get you to think about food into detail, yeah? So they get you to think about the good carbs, the bad carbs, the trans fats, the saturated fats. So now you ain't just thinking about food more than what you was, you're fucking hyper-focusing on food. You got to think about your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, tomorrow's breakfast, tomorrow's lunch, the next day's dinner. You know, you might mix them up a little bit. So you end up thinking about food more than what you already was, yeah? Then they restrict you from food. So while you're on that diet, you can't have chocolate, you can't have crisp, you can't have McDonald's, you can't have a curry, you can't have Chinese. You have to stick to what they fucking tell you to eat, otherwise you're a failure, yeah? So you're taught to think about food, then it restricts you from the food. The only way the human body can create a craving for anything, the emotional connection towards anything to crave it, is only from restriction. You can only crave something you're fucking restricted from. You know, no one craves water because it's in the fucking taps, it's everywhere you go, no one cares about it. If I stuck you on a desert island for 2 weeks with no water and the sun's beating down, you'd be crying. You wouldn't even think about your family anymore. Your skin would be cracking, all you'd be focused on is water. So you can only crave what you can't have. So diet says you think about food, they restrict you from food. So you go on a diet for 2 weeks, you know, you're out shopping, your mate goes, you've lost a bit of weight. You go, I'm on this diet, I've lost about nearly a stone now, I'm doing really well on it. And they go, yeah, look, like you can really notice it. So you go home and you think, that's all you needed to help you break your restriction. You think, you know what, I'm gonna have a little treat. Yeah, that's right, I'm gonna have a little treat now. So you have a little biscuit, well, nah, ain't gonna hurt me. But the minute you take any little biscuit or whatever the fucking you wanna treat yourself with, mentally you just broke the restriction. Hang on guys, it's like the fire brigade's going through. That's a bastard siren, isn't it? So, fucking hell, don't seem to be in a hurry, does he? Fucking hell. I run faster than that. Anyway, so you talk to think about food, the restriction from food, the restriction breaks, then you feel like a failure, yeah? So you had that little biscuit, restriction breaks, you start scoffing yourself now, you get the bread out of the cupboard, you think, oh fuck it, I'll start again Monday, it's that old classic. But now you feel like a failure. So you sit down after you've eaten, you scoffed yourself and you think, I fucked the diet up now, it's my fault, if I had just done what they told me, I'd have been alright. No one's ever been able to do that ever, no one. Since the 70s, since diets come out, no one's been able to do that. So, first I teach you to think about food, the restriction from food, the restriction breaks, you feel like a fucking failure, and then you know what, I did lose weight on that diet, it didn't work for me, I'll try another one. So you do the same, you do the same again, you start to think about food, restriction breaks, feel like a failure. You got another diet, try and fail, showing your mind visual proof that you can't do it, yeah, that you're fat and you can't lose weight, because that's what happens. You keep trying to fail, you start to notice you can lose weight on a diet, you can't keep it off, you lose weight on a diet, you can't keep it off, and you're getting bigger. There's words that I come off a big one, and you think, what's the point of fucking trying? I tried every diet out there, I tried slimming pills, you know, I'm either going to go and see a hypnotherapist and look for some fucking magic outside of me, or I'm going to have a gastric band, one of the fucking two, yeah? Because your belief system has been crushed. It hasn't given you a belief system that you can do it, you're going to smash it, how good your body's going to look, how it's going to feel. No, it makes you feel like you're fat and you can't lose weight. Your belief system says you're a fat person and you can't lose weight. That's what diets do to you. They're fucking evil. That's why they're $1 billion industry. In the 70s, when diets come out, we never had no obesity problem. It was minute. Sugar diabetes was minute. Do some fucking research, yeah? It was fucking minute. Since diets have come out, the Western world's got fatter and fatter and fatter and fatter and fatter and fatter. It's unbelievable. So, what I'm going to recommend to you is fistfuls of chewed down food. I've got a 30-day challenge, yeah? 30-day challenge. Have a fistful of chewed down food 3 times a day and eat what the fuck you want, yeah? So, breakfast, you have a fistful of chewed down. That's not the size of your portion, that's the size of the chewed down amount, yeah? So if that's my hand there, that's the portion, that's the chewed down amount. So the curry would be about that big, yeah? As long as it chews down to that. But if you want some naan bread with it or some bhajias, you have to move some of the curry and have a bit of naan. It doesn't matter what the fuck it is, it has to chew down to the size of a fist, yeah? 3 fistfuls of chewed down food, anytime, anything you want, yeah? I'll guarantee you'll lose weight by the end of the month. If you stick to that, yeah? No restriction. And what will happen is, once you get through them 30 days, your mind will get used to it, your belly will have shrunk, and your mind will stop thinking about food because you ain't restricting it. You're not restricting yourself from fucking food anymore. So if you can have it, you ain't going to start thinking about it. So guess what? You go back to like when you were young, you eat when you're fucking hungry. Do you know what I mean? So, anyway, have a good one. I better get back to me run. You're sitting down too long. And God bless you all. Speak to you soon.